Hello, 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 all our friends and families and followers
Hello,
out there.
everybody. Welcome to our live.
So, today we are going to be talking about the employer versus the employee mindset. So, before I begin, or we begin, remember to leave your comments, to like and share. And as we share our information, if this is something that you don't want for yourself, but you know somebody who would benefit from it, please don't sit on the information, but share it with those persons who you think would benefit from this thing
Absolutely.
that we're offering. Again, my name
And
is
don't forget to
Holly.
follow us, follow our page too.
Mhm. Again, my name is Holly, and I live here in Canada. And we always talk about how global our business is and how we get to meet people who are like-minded, living all over the world. And as I mentioned, Sam is here, living in the US, and it's through this business why how we come to meet, and now we are good friends, and we're always talking about it. So just think about how you get to this business change your life, and it change your life in a good way, right, Sam?
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Mm. So when we hear the word employer versus employee mindset, we are looking at two things. The way as an employer, how you think about money, work, and success versus how the employee thinks about those things. And one of the things we look at is, as an employer, we look about focus and responsibility. When you are an employer, no, when you're an employee, you follow the responsibility that is put down to you. Whatever you are told to do, that's what you do. You just whatever you say. Okay, so you employ me, so whatever my job title is, that's what I stick within. I stick within my bound. So this is the box that, as an you stay within that boundary as an employee. But as an employer, your responsibility is wider and bigger, because you're thinking of ways to grow your company, to you everything. No matter how small the responsibility is or how large it is, it's upon the employer, because they want to see the success of the company. And going as our experience in life, I've seen people who work because they come to work and they are the employee. You talk to them, the first thing comes out of their mouth, it's not my business, it's not my company, I'm just here to do a work. That's the mindset of an employee. Meanwhile, the employer does not think about that. The employer has to think about ways of growing the company or making the business successful. What do you have to say about that, Sam?
Yes, absolutely. You're right. Well, let me just first of all introduce myself. My name is Sam Ido, and I'm streaming from United States. And thank you for joining us tonight. We're sorry we couldn't make it last week. I was a little bit under the weather, but thank God I'm here again today, and we're glad you're here with us. Or if you're going to watch this later, so yeah, what's the difference? What's the difference in the mindset of an employee and an employer? The difference is like wearing your pants backward. Okay,
Mhm.
so just imagine an employee mindset is like following a recipe, just like Holly said. You assign a task, then you have to follow it through. You wait for instructions, you clock in and out and get a paycheck. That's all you work
Mm.
for.
Yes.
Okay. An employer mindset is you are the chef. You create that recipe, you adjust the flavors and own the whole damn kitchen. That's the difference. So you have to adjust your mind from, being a recipe follower to being the chef of that kitchen. And
Yes.
what's, an employee mindset is like following, like I said, following a recipe. But also,
Right.
you worry all the time as an employee about time versus your pay. Okay.
Right.
Employer
And
too.
as you mentioned that about the time versus the pay, the employee clocks in and clock out. Is either pay a salary or you pay for hourly work.
Right.
That's that, and so they're so focused. I have to be at work at such and such a time, and when that time come for them to go, they are leaving at that time because I have only paid this amount. So that's the focus in the employee mind, just the hourly wages or salary. Meanwhile, the employer focuses on creating value, setting up a system that works, and the MP will start early in the morning and is there until late in the night.
Right.
He is not clocking in. He's not using time to guide his work. He is doing because he's building a business that is successful. So he, as
Absolutely.
somebody said, gets up early and stays up late so that he can set up a system that is there and to run and to make
And the truth is,
value.
what is the advantages of all of this? Being an employer, you're not only building something, you're also going to leave a legacy for your family. Plus,
Yes.
you also have time. Imagine the restaurant owner is not always there, right? But the workers will always be there, because they have to clock in the morning. They have to, you have to go in early, even if the restaurant's got to open at 7 o'clock. Most of the workers in the kitchen will go in at 5 o'clock because they have to do meal prep. They have to get the place cleaned up. They have to have it ready. And you're always looking, okay, I have to wake up at 5 or 4 o'clock, get to work at five, and be at work. And you have to stay later to clean up because then you have to do it again the following day. So changing that mindset to you're going to be the boss. You can go in at 12 noon. You can go in at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right? But it's always hard, thinking, oh, can I do this? Because you always think, oh, what if I fail? Well,
Yes.
failure is just a feedback. You have to understand that. So if you fail, you do it again, you get up, and that's the mindset that you have to change. You can't always think you will fail. You got to have that positive mindset. I'm going to be an employer now. I'm no longer an employee. I'm not working for somebody. I'm doing it for me,
Myself. Yes.
my family. We're all doing it together, right?
And one of the big thing about it, when you look at the income difference and stuff like that, you see the employee will always get a fixed salary. But as an employer, and as your business grow, yes, the income is unlimited because you're setting up a successful business. And don't get me wrong, in the beginning, as you were talking about the time you go in as an employer, can go in at midday. But in the beginning, when you're setting up the business, you have to put the work in. You have to put the work in. So you have to get up early, stay up late. You have to make the connection with different people. So your presence has to be felt out there. So people have to learn to trust you, come to know you as you build your business. So But
Absolutely.
after you have established this business and you make the connection, especially in our business, now it start running automation. When you're sleeping late, you wake up late, your business is still running and it's still going. And now you start to make your returns are high, the level are high because you have set up a successful business and which is performing well. So now we see how that income part really work, the difference between them. When you're an employee, you just think about just getting that. If it
Paycheck.
is $10 they paying you, every day you get that and you go home.
Yes.
Meanwhile, an employer, you see based on how you set up yourself for success, you
Yes.
see your income goes up all the time.
Yes. As an employee, all you think about is, oh, okay, what's going to be my raise at the end of the year? Are they going to give me
How
2%?
what
Are they
my
going to give me
bonus? Yeah.
4%? So it's, absolutely different, like you said. I
Mm-hmm.
agree with you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And then you look at the decision making also. Being an employee, you don't make decisions, right? You
right.
follow instruction. Decision, whatever instructions are given to you, you follow. But
Yes.
an employer, you make the decisions.
You make the
You set your
decision.
time you want to
Mm.
go to work. You set the hours of work. You make all the decision. You
Yes.
drives everything. You have that running. So now oh, that is why in this business it is so hard for a lot of people to shift from the employee mindset to the employer
True.
because they have been working all these years and somebody has been making the decisions for them
Yes.
and
It is,
decide what time you come to work, which day you get, when you get your vacation, all of that. So it's so hard. It's like it's like when you have a puppy and you train the puppy and the puppy keep doing that. Oh, those tricks the puppy are doing it because you train them. But
yeah,
no, you want the puppy
absolutely.
now to go on their own to
It
whatever.
takes,
It's hard.
you know, you see,
Yeah,
it takes,
because we were trained.
right. It takes quite a bit to, get, people going in the opposite direction, to change from
Mhm.
being an employee to being an employer, you
Yeah.
know. Uh, so, employers, they don't trade time, they don't trade that time for money. They leverage
Mm-mm.
the tools that they have, the
Mhm.
team around them. And they use this
They
tool
delegate. Yeah.
exactly like in our business. We have automated system. 80% of it is automated, and you have time. And let me just quickly say to everybody that it's not like all bed of roses. You have to do the heavy lifting in the beginning. So
Yes.
we're not selling you anything that, oh, you're just going to come and just be an employer and everything's just going to be rosy. No, it doesn't work that way. Like I
Mm-mm.
said earlier, you know, failure are bound to happen. And what do we call that? We call that plot twist because this is a journey. You're on a journey. The journey is not going to be smooth all the time. So, but you can get there and become an employer and change your mindset. You just have to believe in yourself. Um,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. And just one more thing, you see, as we were talking about decision making, when it comes to problem solving, because if, as you said, it's not gonna be easy. There is gonna be challenges and so. But with the employee, they don't make any decisions. They see a problem, they report it. They don't. It's off their hands. But
right.
with the employer, the problem stops at you. As they would say, the buck stops with you. You are the owner of the business. So you find solution, you create a system that avoid faults and all of that. You're making it. You test it. You prove, you test until you can say, I have a proven and a tested and proven system that works. So now that's what the employer is all about, having a system that works, that will not fail along the way. And that's one of the concern and stuff as an employer versus a mindset. You know, an employee, because the employee will just come and, oh, that does not work, throw it out. The employer on the other hand say, no, let me see what I can do with it.
Yeah, and some of the things that I've heard people say is, oh, employees have more security, they have more job security. Well, I'll tell you, newsflash, no job is 100% secure. Okay, and I hate to break it to you too. No, all businesses are secure. There's no business that's secure 100%, especially in this environment that we're in today. So, but the thing is, if you own your own business, it is yours. You are accountable for it.
Yes.
You are responsible for it. With the employer's mindset, you build your income stream, and you can build multiple income streams if you want. So it doesn't just have to be one. Okay, if you are an employee, right, you'll probably be able to do 2 jobs, but you're killing yourself. You're running from one job to another. So now what are you neglecting? You're neglecting your family. You're neglecting time. You're probably neglecting your health.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're still not making ends meet.
True.
You know,
as you touch that, just to say something. Years ago, my husband said, and we need to buy a house, and he said, you rent somebody's house, you're paying their mortgage, and any day they can say to you, move out, I need to rent it to somebody else.
right.
And you could have lived in it for 10 years and you pay them that money per month. They never give you back a dime from what you paid. They never give you back anything.
Right.
But when you buy your own home, when you buy your own house and you're paying your own mortgage, you live in the house 10, 20 years, and there comes a time when you say, okay, I need to get rid of it. I can't no longer. The moment you say that, you sell, you get back a return from that. It's the same thing with the employee and the employer mindset. The employee come to work every day and receive a paycheck, and he goes home and come back every week and receive the paycheck, and he goes home, start the week over and whatever. And at the end of working 5, 10, 15 years, you finish and they say, okay, I retire.
And they probably give you a gold. They give you a gold watch for all that years that you slaved for them.
They say, they say, okay, some of them might have a little party for you or something like that and say goodbye to you. But when you own your business, own your own business, you have that business for life and you pass it down to family, your children, it passed down to generation. So as I will I don't want to go too far over 20 minutes. I will say the employee mindset is about stability, direction, and working in the system. Meanwhile, the employer mindset is about leadership, vision, and working on the system. So when the employee works in the system, the employer works on the system. You see, the employer is about leadership and vision, the employee about stability and getting that paycheck. So now there is the big difference between them. And we've talked about many differences as we see them. We see both of them, and it's very hard, but you have to learn. If you're gonna own a business, you have to learn to shift from that and start focusing on making, developing, having ideas, building something that will last for a long time.
Absolutely. Yes. So, I guess, the question now is, well, not a question, but I'm just going to employ everybody. How do you start thinking like an employer today? Okay. So I'll say, take your baby steps, audit your time. What task could you automate or delegate? Okay. So you have to change that mindset, become an employer, get yourself into employer mindset. And that will be easy that will be, my last word for you today.
And one of the ways to get into that thing is, remember, there is nobody standing behind your back. You have a work to be done.
Right.
You make a schedule and you stick by that schedule, and don't get distracted with what's happening around you. You focus on what you have, the task that you have to done, because there is nobody standing behind you to say, oh, get that done, get that done, get that done. No. If you don't get it done, it's on you and you only. So you have to start thinking about those kind of things. So,
all right.
As you have said, Sam, that was.
Go ahead, Paulo.
No, I was saying, as you have said, we are at that mark now that we are gonna wrap up. I would just wanna remind the people it's Thursday. Tonight is the night when we have our free webinar sessions with more information about this online business that we're here promoting. If you want to be a part of that session, it comes Tuesdays and Thursday night at 8 p.m. If you want to be a part of it, if you resonate with Sam or me, send us a message. We will get the link to you so that you can get in on the information session.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thanks for hanging out with us. Smash that like button. Share it with somebody. Don't be stingy. Okay. Share the knowledge with other people. And we'll catch you next time. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thanks again.
Okay.